So actually, my assistant runs the morning practice. I'm here and I'm coaching, obviously, but we split it up that she is like plans and runs the morning practice. We obviously have a big communication about what we're doing, but it's just, she's a really good coach as well. And I think it helps to have another voice. And then for me to be able to step back from planning and just coach in the practice as well, which is also pretty important. So when you see a different handwriting on the whiteboard or her talking a lot more in these practices, it's because she's running it. Yeah, here we're just doing some individual reception. I believe, sorry, just let me check where I'm looking. Yeah, we're doing 2 normal. So where we just stay in the 2 of us, like we have a libero and an opposite on the camera side here. Well, she's an opposite, but we're working with the outsides as well. So we have a libero and an outside here passing. We do 2 where it's normal, where they stay and they receive in their zone. And then we're doing 1 with a leave, which means like as we serve, our position 6 is going to go and take that space. So we're practicing some reception tactics that we may or may not use in a game. We typically start in normal in reception, but we have these leaves or pinches available. And in this case, we're practicing a leave. So I'm up on the box there serving down the line, and I have a middle blocker serving cross court. And yeah, we don't want to take reps away from players, but we really, really need to practice these situations, because otherwise we're going to do it in a game and we're going to shank it. And it's a really special situation because we are like being super aggressive, knowing that they're going after our outside hitter. We're going to have her leave and we're going to take that zone. And, if it honestly works 95% of the time, 5% of the time someone knows the tactic and they'll serve back into zone 6 and we're in trouble. But we are kind of prepared for that as well. So that's what we're practicing here. 2 normal and then 1 leave.
Yeah, very clear. Go to the next one.
I think we do a pinch in the next one where we're just
yeah
pinching it in. Yeah, okay. So here, again, we're doing 2 normal where we're just passing our zone, and then we're pinching our position 6 to the left. So we call it a pinch, which means that, yeah, she's basically going to take more space, and then we leave our position 5, just to take really what's coming on her body. So this is different to the leave in the fact that we are not, she will pass a smaller zone, but we're taking a bigger zone with, in what we hope is our better passer in this particular case. And so again, we want to practice that. So if we go into a game, we can just scream out pinch, and we know that we make that move. We will leave. In this particular case, it'll be a libero in position 1, and she'll take like a lot more space down there in position 1.
And who's taking the decision to go the pinch? Is like there's a lot of responsibility on the libero, or you're coaching it, or?
So yeah, a bit of both. So basically, every game, this particular video is done by my assistant. She does a reception video with the receivers, and then they talk about maybe a base strategy we have on each player. So maybe we start normal, maybe we start in a pinch because we absolutely know that they're going to target the front row outside hitter in these certain rotations. We generally have our matchups correct. So we talk about the tactic before, and we talk about quick changes that we make and how quickly we will do it. So we'll say, hey, we'll start in our base, but if she's doing this, we can move into a pinch or a leave or something else. We just pass to 2 passes and we put someone short. And so, or it's the libero, she can make the call, I can make the call, and my assistant can make the call. It really kind of just really depends, but we are all there ready to do it, and they have pre-talked about it in this video. So it's not really a surprise that we're ready to make that change after 1 or 2 errors, or if we're not sliding out or something like this.
Yeah, very clear. The next one.
Okay. I think we also have on the whiteboard, we have hold as a big key. Like we just, in practice, we really want to exaggerate holding the platform after, just to get a little bit of feedback on their platform. It's not something that we really focus on every day, but it's written there on the whiteboard in this particular case because get a little bit of self-feedback. All right, so here we are working on rotation 1. When we do a double sub, so today this particular day is a really, really individual practice. We only brought 6 people in. We had some other girls, they went to kind of do a recovery lift, and then they came in later. But when we double sub, we end up in a rotation 1 where we would like to do like a switch out at the top. So we put 3 players at the front, and then they're flipping out, and we pass completely to 2 people. So This is like specifically working on this situation. if we have done a double sub and we're in rotation 1. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it. We haven't done this ever again, actually, because honestly, we only need to practice it just so that they understand what happens. But we want to make sure early on in the season, and this is quite early on in the season, all our situations that we might be in are just kind of, touched on and understood. So here we're purely receiving to 2 people. There's no one else that can come in because we have our outside and our opposite up at the net, switching out in a double sub rotation 1 where we're working in that situation. So. And on the other side here, it's liberos can be ignored a lot. So we always try to have them having something extra there. So here she's digging and she's setting the second ball. So the server comes in, hopefully not always, digs that first ball, and then we get the second touch set here. We're practicing from 5 and 6 in case we move her around a little bit as well. I said second touch is so important for us, so we try to integrate it into almost every morning practice, some form of second touch. So you see we're making a ton of service errors here, like lots and lots and lots. Typically, I've coached a lot of teams. They get very frustrated in the morning practices when they don't get a bunch of reps because there are a lot of serve errors. We're a high serve error team. If we are worried about the passers not getting enough reps, we'll just put a coach there to serve on an error rather than talking about having to serve it in, because we really want to practice game serves. We really want to get them to be able to learn how to miss and then how to stay aggressive anyway, rather than changing their serve to an easier serve, which honestly, once you get into high level volleyball, you serve an easy serve, it's toast, you're going to lose a point. So if I would be worried that there are too many misses, I probably won't be speaking to the servers unless they are just uncharacteristically missing under the net every time. And I know that that's something that's just a focus error. I'll talk about it. Otherwise, I'll just throw a coach down there and say, hey, put in a ball when it's an error, just so the receiver can get the rep. Otherwise, we need to keep pushing on the serve a little bit. So that's pretty much how I manage those situations after I just saw that we missed about 10 serves in a row there. I'm already standing there ready to put a ball in on the error because I noticed that we were erroring a lot, but I don't want them to stop the aggression on the serve. And I think that's really, really important to make that distinction as a coach. What is your philosophy? And then you need to stand by it in training, because all of a sudden, if you freak out in training saying, hey, we're missing a lot of serves, but you're asking them to serve aggressive every time they go back in a game, you're not connecting with what you're asking, and you need to find a better way to do it yourself rather than just put it on the players. At least that's what I tell myself.
No, agreeing 100% with that. The lack of consistency kills teams.
Yeah, one of the big things I always have to come back on myself. Am I being consistent to what I've actually asked them? Because when I get tired, when I get emotional, when I get stressed, it's so easy for me to be well, we need to do this, this, and this. And I'm that does not absolutely go with what I'm asking, the philosophy of the game, and I need to hold myself really accountable to that, which is why I have everything written down everywhere so that everybody knows what we're trying to do. So if I'm off, I've even had players in the past, that'll tell me, hey, this is not exactly what we're looking at. Okay, so now we have moved on to just another kind of station here. We're working with 3 passes, but doing the same thing. So we've just kind of upgraded it. So now we have 3 passes where we're going to do, or 3 receivers, sorry, depends what language people are listening to me. We have 3 receivers, and we're doing 2 normal, and then we're doing a pinch. So we practice the pinch situation where our position 1, whether that be the libero or whether that be, that's beautiful seam management, whether that be the libero or whether that be the outside hitter, working on taking more space and working in the pinch. So again, 2 normal and then 1 in the pinch situation. And we still have our opposite, or our servers over there are serving and then getting a dig and a set, because whether we agree that box reps are good or not, it's a morning practice. I don't want my players jumping, so we're going to get some reps off the box and be able to practice our second touch as well there, which is really important. And managing our opposite's load. So she's in position 1, it's our opposite, and she doesn't pass for us, so a morning practice for her, if she's doing an hour of serving, that starts to become a load that is just insane. So we make sure that we have her not serving in a lot of the drills and working on her defense, which she needs, and her second touch or her free ball passing, or decision making on free ball on the net or not. So yeah.
Oh, it's interesting that you say we talked about Pepper and also the spiking from the box. In my opinion, it's more of a coaching thing. No player has an issue with doing pepper. No player has an issue with doing a defensive move after the serve. So it's just like coaches trying to be dangerous for me to say smarter than they are. It's not about being smarter than they are, but just finding stuff that's it's not game-like, so we should not do it. No. You know,
that's the thing. It's like I'm really like, obviously I'm trying to be as game like as possible. I really want us to, you know, be able to have the read and do that kind of thing as much as possible. But the fact is we practice twice a day. Like, and if we're doing game like things every single day, that means there is a jump somewhere. And I need this to be, you know, that we do maximum 40 jumps on the serve, because that's already quite a lot, you know. So we keep track of all that kind of stuff, and we need to be smart, and we need to be careful with what we're doing. So some things come off the box. It is what it is. Like, it's maybe not as good as a live rep, but it's better than no rep. So
exactly. I think there's one more here. The liberals are doing some work.
Yes, this is probably not even. It's probably just extra time. Yeah. So
yeah,
at the end, we
do some setting, I think.
Yeah. So basically, we usually, especially in the mornings, leave, like we plan like 50 minutes and then we leave 10 minutes where a lot of girls can say, hey, like we're like, okay, optional, what do we want? And maybe we have some stuff on the board that people have already asked us in. We have individual meetings each week with the players, and they say, I need to practice da. We'll put it on the board to remind ourselves, or they just at the end of practice they ask, can I practice a certain situation? And the more we do that, the smarter they get. And they start to really like know what they need to practice, and they even have little keys that they're working on. And so in these individual meetings that we do weekly, most of them use it to come in and talk about some things, and we talk them through what that actually means. Like, I want to work on my setting. Okay, in what situations are you feeling like, and what keys are you thinking about? So here she's working, like our bro really wanted just to isolate working on like a pivot set with her left foot. She is, she's a new libero. She has a really deep set. So the pivot kind of helps her to get a bit more strength in that situation. So we've said, okay, we're going to do 20 reps of this pivot set. And that's not even the set that we always wanted to do, but she knows that she's struggling with that. And so she asked for that in that situation.